In this video, we're going to do what I had mentioned earlier. We're going to use the paint droppings from the previous video and do something cool with them in this video. We're going to add them to the painting we did before. Hopefully this will turn out pretty cool. Here we go. Huh? So we've got these paint droppings that occurred during our last paint pour that we just did, which was the first episode. And we will find them underneath. I'm going to set that aside. We got a few cool things we can peel off here that have dried. And they got a cool pattern in them. They have some of the same effects that the paint pour did from the previous job. There's some pretty neat stuff there. And what we're going to do is peel up a few of these and set them over to the side here. The ones that are intact and looking pretty cool. We'll just intend to use those in what we're about to do here. They just peel right up. Just kind of pick and choose from the ones that you think look the coolest. I've seen this done before by a gal on Instagram, and it came out super neat. And she actually intentionally pours just things like this on a piece of plastic like this, just for the purpose of gluing them back onto a painting that she had previously done. And some of those patterns come out super cool. So she'll do a paint pour on the canvas with the same colors of paint that she used to just drop right on the plastic. And it's super cool looking. I'm going to get these out of the way. We don't need them anymore. So, I've picked a few that look pretty neato. There's some that's stuck to the bottom of the canvas a little bit. So I've got a few here. And what we can do is take those and glue them into place in certain areas. Let's actually kind of eyeball what we're going to do with them. Maybe try to come up with a pattern of some kind right on the canvas. I'm going to use the ones that are as flat as possible, because the ones that are curled may not stick as well as the ones that are flat. I'll just throw some of these up on here, and we will attempt to make a cool pattern out of these. There's some pretty neat ones here. I'm sure that if it was intentionally done rather than haphazardly done, just by the way the paint had fallen off, if you'd done it intentionally, it may have, you'd probably have a little more control getting a cool pattern. But we will play with this thing and see what we can get out of it. I'm going to kind of position these around a little bit and see what kind of action I can get out of it. It looks like there's going to be more contrast if you put these in a lighter area of the paint pour, and it may be cooler to just put these into those areas. I'm just kind of experimenting here. I haven't really done this before, so you're kind of my guinea pig. That's kind of cool. It's all right. It's not a bad thing. Then we're going to take the glue that we bought at the Dollar Tree. Put a little bit of glue on the backs of these. And stick them into place. Yeah, like I was saying, if you were to make droppings on a piece of plastic intentionally in cool shapes, you can actually get a super cool design out of them. This here is just kind of happened by chance, the way they fell from the canvas. So we didn't have a whole lot of control over it. But you can actually control a spill or a kind of a pour by actually intentionally pouring it into shapes on a piece of plastic if you wanted to. Hope you enjoyed the first video. Let me know in the comments what you think. I know I kind of made a couple of little boo-boos in there. In fact, I need to mention that if you had noticed in the first video, we didn't even really use a full tube of the white paint. And therefore, it didn't really cost a full $8 and some odd cents. It actually cost $7 and some odd cents to buy those materials. So that's even cooler than what I had mentioned in the previous video. It was cheaper than I expected. I actually expected to use more white paint, but it turned out we didn't really need that much. And that's okay. In fact, there's still some paint left in that tube. We may end up using that here again shortly. I don't know, it kind of looks like bubbles. But rather than allowing a bunch of paint to go to waste, if you have some cool droppings from the canvas, you can always peel them up and use them for different purposes. Another thing I've seen people do is you can buy shape punches, and they'll take their droppings, if they're big enough, and they will put those into those shape punches, like a star or things like that. Various shapes that you can buy the punches in, and punch out the shapes out of the paint drippings, and then use that to put on things. It's super cool for that too. So here's what we have. It's kind of a bubble look, I guess. It's neato. You can you may have cooler droppings than I do. That sounds gross. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anywho, so that's going to conclude this particular portion of things. I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe and do some commenting. Let me know what you think. I've got some super cool things coming up. This is just kind of still in the basics. As we go, we'll get more advanced, and I'm going to start doing skull molds and stuff too, and we'll do paint pours on 3D skulls. They'll be made of plaster of Paris. I will see you soon. Have an excellent day. Talk to you later.